Liberalisation of the energy market was at the centre of the debate on the second day of the EPP-ED's presidency meeting here in Munich. EPP-ED Vice Chairman Marian Jean Marinescu led the panel debate with representatives from the energy sector and politicians. Chairman Marian Marinescu, MEP, introduced the speakers. Marcin Korolec from the Polish Ministry of the Economy stressed that the liberalisation was still implemented differently in EU member states. As for legal unbundling, i.e. the separation of the distribution networks from the actual production of energy, Poland was in favour of the so-called third option, which includes an independent system operator. Klaus-Dieter Maubach of the German utility E.ON also expressed support for the third option and complained that politics had been promising lower energy prices as an effect of liberalisation. Everyone has to be perfectly clear that energy prices would continue to rise due to increasing demand worldwide. Johannes Kindler from the German regulatory body said that the first two EU liberalisation packages had not delivered the desired effects. He particularly mentioned the lack of investment in infrastructure and the complexity of the planning and authorisation procedures. Angelika Niebler MEP, who is the chairman of the Industry and Energy Committee of the European Parliament, focused on the need for new power stations. Energy demand would rise by 30% until the year 2030. New power stations would improve the situation as they had a considerably higher efficiency than current plants. Politics was facing the hard task to raise citizens' awareness and to make the construction of new power stations of any kind more popular.
It's a long way we have to go, to speak frankly. It's not done from today until tomorrow, but I think we are on a good way. You know, it's the third energy liberalization package we are now working on, and I think also we try to find solutions for the climate change. And again, our huge investment, of course, in renewable energy sources is, I think, the right approach to do. And thirdly, my feeling is that in Europe we also have to rely on nuclear energy.
Herbert Royal MEP highlighted the importance of the security of supply. EU regulation would be wrong if it led to a standstill of investment in networks and power stations. Politics would also have to prepare the ground for investment psychologically. Politics had been warning of the threats of climate change and CO2 emissions for far too long, so that citizens would not accept the need for new power stations straight away.
Ich glaube, dass die EVP-ED-Fraktion dringend sich darum kümmern muss, das Thema Versorgungssicherheit in Mittelpunkt.
The issue of securing energy supply must be of central focus of the EPP-ED group. The recent crisis in Georgia showed us how important this is, even more important than the debate on climate change. We must find a solution to increasing our energy capacity. More power plants, more networks, modernisation. All this we can achieve if we accelerate the processes so that big companies can invest more easily. Investment must be done in such a way as to allow these big companies to make a profit. Companies will only invest if they can see this. This is our task. This is the only chance we have to stabilise prices and to achieve independence in energy supply. Markus Ferber, MEP, Vice Chairman of the CDU-CSU German delegation in the European Parliament, summing up the meeting, said that it was important in the light of the upcoming European elections and the difficult decisions which lay ahead.
I think it makes sense to have meetings like that, as we are 9 months in front of the European elections and we have a lot of issues in front of us which have to be solved during this period. Especially if you look on the agenda of this meeting in Munich, we have the energy market. I think that is in most importance that we get affordable prices for the people in the European Union. On the other hand, we have to develop a sustainable energy consumption possibility all over Europe, and that has to be taken into account. We are discussing the whole CO2 emission issue, especially on the cars. I think therefore it makes sense to stay in Munich, where we have great manufacturers who are on great importance for the economic area, but who are carefully watching what's going on a European level. And thirdly, I think agriculture policy is for EPP-ED on most importance, as we have to guarantee that in all areas all over Europe we have the possibility that farmers have a chance to produce their products. And I think therefore it makes sense outside of the daily work to have meetings like that, to formulate the positions for the EPP-ED And I think at the end we will bring them through the Parliament, and then in 9 months' time we can go to our electorate and say, look, this is EPP-ED, we are bringing Europe forward, you have to vote for us.
A European approach to the future regulation of CO2 emissions in the car industry, the liberalisation of the energy market and the health check of the common agricultural policy. The meeting here in Munich aimed to better coordinate the group's strategy on these issues ahead of an important legislative period which will affect the daily lives of millions of EU citizens. This programme was brought to you by the EPP-ED Group, the largest political group in the European Parliament. For more information on this and any of the issues, please log on to our website epp-ed.eu. See you again soon.